Welcome to the first episode of Unc Reviews. Today's topic is going to be Tower Dungeon, the newest manga by Tsutomu Nihei, one of my favorite mangakas. Nihei is the king of liminal spaces, unbelievably huge megastructures, storytelling through illustrations with minimal dialogue, and gruesome mechanic and biomechanic monsters. Some of his biggest inspirations are H.R. Geiger, who is well known for his design of the Xenomorph. You should also check out his design for the Dune movie, which was scrapped. Then there's Jean Giraud, also known as Mobius. He's a well-known French comic artist, and some of his comics are Arzak, The Inkle, Long Tomorrow. And then there's Enki Bilal, my favorite out of the three. He's a Yugoslavenian comic artist. He is well known for his comic Nikopol. He was also favored by the Japanese, and here's one fun fact for all of you. So in Tekken Toppa Gurren Lagann there's Viral, and his mech is called Enki. And if you check out the OST that is playing in the background when he appears, it's called Nikopol. His previous mangas cause a feeling of uneasiness, or should I rather say a creeping impending sense of doom, Blame and Biomega being the best examples. Nihei had a sudden shift between his older work and the new one. In my opinion, I think he commercialized and to gain a bigger following, or the editors are forcing him to do that. We all know how editors like meddling with their greasy fingers, viewing mangakas as cash cows. What I mean by commercialized is that he started adding a lot of dialogues, goofy and horny main characters. Female characters are a tool for mostly fanservice now. His heavy and dark style of drawing backgrounds and characters disappeared. He is mainly now drawing in a very clean, minimalist style. This notable shift happened with Knights of Sidonia and seemingly passed on to Tower Dungeon as well. I don't want to sound like a negative Nancy, so I'll bring up a side point regarding his style. He probably has a minimalist style now to be able to achieve to print out chapters on a monthly schedule now. The more I think about it, I'm quite sure that the editors are the one forcing him to draw the lewd stuff, since he hates it with passion, or at least hated it. I could yap on Nihei's work for days, but I'll try to keep it streamlined. I'm here to talk about Tower Dungeon, after all. Tower Dungeon is set in a dark-ass high fantasy setting where a necromancer assassinates the king and impersonates him to kidnap his daughter, the princess of the kingdom. He imprisons the princess on the 100th floor of the Dragon Tower, a humongous floating tower made in the ancient era running on some Shadow Wizard money gang level of magic. Because of the immense failures of the standard military trying to save the princess, the royal guard begin to conscript villagers and anyone willing to try to scale the tower and save the princess. One of the unlucky conscripts is Yuva, an inhumanly strong farm boy, which is coincidentally our main character as well. The story follows his endeavors to climb the tower with a group called the Neo Squad 7. Now that we got the synopsis out of the way, let's dive into the meat and bone of this manga. We will enter spoiler territory now, so if you'd like to find stuff on your own, or you hate spoilers, return after you read the manga. Yuva is stubborn, very kind-hearted, and a bit dumb. He gives me a shonen protagonist vibe all the way, which I don't really mind until they bring the horny factor in. I'm generally a big hater of horn dogs. In my opinion, they reduce the quality of a character, but if it's your thing, you're going to love Yuva. Yuva has a creative set of companions which all have diverse personalities and abilities. Funapa is Yuva's sister and a bit of a contrast to his personality. She is very charismatic and it's hinted that it's due to her powers, which I will mention later in this video. Funapa will most likely serve as a damsel in distress, being a leverage against Yuva, though these are only my speculations. Lilisen is a mage from the Barbitos lineage with immense magical force, and she serves as Yuva's love interest. She is a classic tsundere type, unable to show her soft emotions and affections because, yeah, that's just how the trope works. Elikio is a knight of the royal faction and a friend of Lilisen. He's good at archery and I don't know what else to say about him. He's quite a bland character for now, serving as a company lackey for the story progression. Now let's progress to the cooler characters. Sargon is also a mage from the Barbitos lineage. He is a stout little guy accompanied by his sturdy mount Krogi, a goat crow which he uses as a mount. Sargon gives off dwarf vibes and wears a cool mask akin to an executioner mask covering his upper part of his head, only exposing his voluminous, magnificent beard. He joined them a bit later for his own needs and purposes, which aren't tied to the saving the princess. I love his whole design. He's more or less the wise one in the group, or at least seems so. Aridalia is a necromancer who loves humans because of her tragic backstory, where she fell in love with a prince who sacrificed himself to save her. Well, basically, he got shot by his own father because they tried to poison her and then it revealed that she's a necromancer. But then she took over his body and over the time it became feminized. Aridella joined them because she owed the late king a favor. I mean the king that the necromancer assassinated, not to confuse the other two. Now that we got rid of the character introduction, let's talk about Barbitos, necromancers and the Draco Metamorphs. This isn't explained completely, so there's a lot of speculations from my side regarding this. The Barbitos are a special lineage of humans with a supernatural powers akin to magic. It ranges from fire magic, gravity control, to turning into a dragon. Draco Metamorphs are also from the Barbitos lineage, but they are usually direct descendants of the royal family. Their ability is pretty self-explanatory. They can turn either partially or fully into a dragon. I really like the whole lineage shtick. It gives me a cheesy vibes, but in the best way possible. Now my favorite twist. Necromancers aren't mages or humans. They are a completely different type of being, very dragon-esque with the ability to shapeshift and take over bodies. They produce 1,000 larvae per day, which they can use to infect corpses to make zombies. It's hinted that they were either killing dragons and Dracometamorphs or were a world threat earlier, which caused a mass extinction hunt against them. This is all vague though, which is in character of Nihei manga. While we are talking about the characteristics of Nihei's manga, Tower Dungeon still has that mega structure feeling. I mean, the whole plot is revolving around a huge giant floating tower with labyrinth-like floors, wielding mysterious magic that the current denizens of the world can't comprehend. The line art is way more clean, and I prefer some of his earlier grimy work, but this does satisfy the itch to a certain extent. The monster design is still amazing. Necromancers and Dracometamorphs have a sickly design to them. It hits right into the uncanny valley zone. When you look at the designs, you'll always feel like there's something wrong with it, but you can't exactly put your finger on what it is. If you want to avoid further spoilers, again, go read the manga and come back to the video. Well, surprise, surprise, the human strength that Yuva has is because he's a Barbitos from the royal lineage. He's actually not strong, he's able to do weight manipulation, which is cool and all, but couldn't we just get a normal protagonist once, or rather keep his inhuman strength as a mystery and never explain it? This is the part where we return to the protagonist being a shonen character, which is fair I guess, since this is a shonen manga after all. Funepa also has some powers. It's been hinted that she is a Draco Metamorph, which I mentioned earlier. It's all due to her being a part of the royal family as well. Albeit my complaints, Tower Dungeon is still a breath of fresh air in the oversaturated fantasy genre. I'm looking at you, Isekai. You almost drowned the whole genre down with your shenanigans. Nihei usually dabbles into sci-fi and futuristic things, which I love, but I also love that he's actually experimenting with something else. I'm looking forward to what will come next from this, and I hope it won't get perpetually worse. So if you do like dialogues and all of that good shonen stuff plus Nihei's design, I highly advise you to actually read the manga. For all of you unks out there, trust me and read Biomega and Blame first, so you'd understand the polar differences in the storytelling, and yes, I am biased since these two are my favorites from him. Well, that's it folks. If you liked the video, give it a like, share and subscribe for future content. I'd love to see your thoughts in the comments as well. I hope you all had a good time and I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye!